this following paragraph scares me the most. And even if there will be a suffix that the Eibishter will want to hold the Yidden another second in Galus because of the great Nachas Ruach, the Geschmack that the Avodah of Yidden in Galus gives the Eibishter. Says the Rebbe, there's a rule, whatever the Balabas tells you have to listen, except if he tells you to leave. So it seems from here that the Rebbe has a suffix. The Eibishter is just enjoying Galus. Take, no rules, doesn't make any sense. We finished the Avodah. The Eibishter is just enjoying the Avodah of Galus.
Welcome to Greeting Moshiach, episode 8. Let's do this. Let's jump right in. Simcha.
Okay.
Tell us.
So we were speaking last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, about the Sicha of Chayes Haran and Beis, that I was speaking to all the Shluchim and telling them this new mission. We were talking about the progression of what Shluchis meant in general, as Yidden, and then a more particular, and that was always about Mashiach, and a more particularly the Shluchis, how it pertains to the actual Shluchis, not just doing what Hashem wants, but of the Rebbe, of Dar Shvi. And then the Rebbe says, and more particularly recently, it's now becoming connected with the Shluchis of Mashiach, the person, Mashiach, the individual. And the Rebbe spent a whole bunch of things explaining why right now in particular is the kinnos this year in particular is connected to the actual shlichus of Mashiach. We know Mashiach is going to be a shliach, and we know that Moshe Rabbeinu said shlach no biyat tishlach, send Mashiach, and he calls him a shliach. So there's the shlichus of Mashiach, and the Rebbe says the shlichus of the shlichim right now is specifically connected with that. And we ended off, and we'll start again from this nekuda. So bear with me a bit of a repetition. And the Rebbe said, from all this is understood, all this talk the Rebbe was saying till now, that we've long since began the Avodah of Shluchas. And what is that? And the Rebbe reiterates again what he explained. That the Avodah of Shluchas of the Shluchim is, of the Nasi Adar, is what? Of Dar Shvi, is to spread Torah, to spread Yiddishkeit, and to spread the Mayanas Chutzah. And the end of that was that they should bring Mashiach, biz to bring in the Geula, the Rebbe said. But here the Rebbe says they've long since began spreading Torah, Yiddishkeit, and spreading the Mayanas, spreading the wellsprings outwards. And they've long since been in the middle of this Avodah until, says the Rebbe, and in bold, their Messiah going to the Shluchas, they have completed the Shluchas. So we should be holding now, says the Rebbe, by the Geula part of it. Alas, the Geula, Amitas Vashlema, says the Rebbe, is not yet here. So there must be something remaining in the Avodah of Shluchas that we could do, that the Shluchim could take it home and do what their job is, to actually biz the Geula, biz to bring in the Geula. That's part of their job. You have to bring the Geula. So what else can we do if we finish the job of spreading Torah, Yiddishkeit, and Mayanas? There's something more that the Shluchim could do to actually bring the Geula b'payil. What is that? And I believe this is where we left off, at a cliffhanger. So the Rebbe continues and explains what he said in Parshas Vayera. That he introduced just last week. And the Rebbe says, we know that in every generation, the Rebbe quotes from the Barbanel, B'chsam Sefer, there is somebody who is fit to be Mashiach. He's righteous. He's the man. If this generation will be worthy, he will be Mashiach. What's going to be the process, as they explain? Hashem will reveal himself to him. I don't know, tell him you're Mashiach. I don't know, reveal himself to him. I'm not Mashiach, I couldn't tell you what it's like. I assume it'll be something similar to like the burning bush. Hashem revealed himself to Moshe Rabbeinu and told him, you're going to be the guy. And they had a fight for a week, and in the end, the Eibishter won. And like the Rebbe explains in the Sikha, actually, Moshe also won. The Rebbe explains earlier in the Sikha, how could it be that Moshe is arguing with Hashem? How is it possible? Moshe is Chachma Atzilos. The Eibishter said, Moshe knows that Hashem knows whatever he knows. And the Rebbe explained that Moshe was trying to say that Shlach Nebi Atzishlach send Mashiach. He wanted to connect the job of Mashiach and Moshe, and that's why Moshe was also a Melech, and Mashiach is also a teacher. Moshe Hugal Rishon Hugal Achem. So they're both true. At any rate, so Mashiach will have a similar experience. Hashem will reveal himself to him and tell him you are Mashiach, and send him to take the Yidden out of Galus. So that says but the only reason this hasn't happened till now is because in every generation there have been things holding us back. They weren't zeicha. Says the Rebbe, now we have the testimony, the aegis of the Nasi Adar, that we are zeicha, that we finished of shluchas, we're Messiah b'shluchas, the shluchim did their job. Says the Rebbe, it's understood as psuch on v'koyim veren shlach nabiat tishlach. This that we're speaking about here, the shluchas of Mashiach, has already begun to be fulfilled. So it's happened. This what it says, because there's nothing stopping. So Hashem Taka revealed himself to Mashiach and told him, "You're Mashiach, take me out of Galus," or gave him the job at least.
So you're saying the mission of Mashiach, you're saying already started.
He was given the mission, right?
He was given the mission.
During Galus, Mashiach doesn't get have a mission. We know Mashiach is waiting by the gates of Rome, like it says in the story, or he's in the he's in the Shemayim, the Baal Shem Tov. But he didn't yet have the job. Says the Rebbe,
right?
He was given the mission. That's what we're saying. This Kenes HaShluchim is connected with the Shluchas of Mashiach. Now Mashiach has a Shluchas. Says the Rebbe, okay, so who are we talking about? Who is this Mashiach in our generation who was given the job to take us out of Galus? Who, pray tell, are we discussing here? The Rebbe is not shy. The Rebbe tells us. The Shluchas Mechad Mor, it's the Shluchas of the Friedrich Rebbe. We know which is referring, the Rebbe spoke about the Friedrich Rebbe, but the Rebbe is obviously the Nasi Adar. The Rebbe and the Friedrich Rebbe are connected, but boots on the ground, the Rebbe is the Nasi Adar. The Rebbe is saying the Shluchas of the Nasi Adar, Shluchas of the Friedrich Rebbe, the Shluchas of the Rebbe. The Rebbe, who that's what we're talking about here. Says the Rebbe, okay, so what's left in the Avodah Shluchas? The only thing left is to go greet Mashiach, maybe Kabbalah Mashiach. So to speak, the Eibishter is comfortable here in the world. The Eibishter is, we fixed the world for the Gula. Now we got to make Mashiach comfortable. We have to make, everyone should get ready to greet Mashiach. Now that there's a Goyal, now that Mashiach is here, let's all get ready to greet him. The Shluchas, till now, it was all connected with Geula, with Hashem, to do Torah mitzvahs, chassidus. Says the Rebbe, now it's about Mashiach the person. Now it's about, now that we have the Shluchas of Mashiach. Mashiach is here. Now that Mashiach is given a job, we have to go greet Mashiach. We have to go get ready to greet him. Bepel Mamish. To actually greet him in real life. He's here, Mashiach. He's sitting there under the Fabregan beam talking to you. You can do this, says the Rebbe, Bepel Mamish. Why? Who cares? Why do I have to greet Mashiach? I did Torah mitzvahs. We deserve the Geula. Why do I have to also greet Mashiach? I don't know, it's a good question. We should have the Geula anyways. I'm asking. But, well, Paul says the Rebbe, what's the effect? What does it do? How does it help? Says the Rebbe, because it will help Mashiach to do his job. When we greet him, we get ready to greet him. We actually greet Mashiach. We get ready. We're excited about Mashiach. That the Rebbe is taking us out of Galus. That helps him to do his job. Took Moshe Rabbeinu 11 months to take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim. There was Makis, there was things, the Galus got worse, there was Gzeis and Parei. Eventually he did it. It wasn't like Moshe came and the Yidden left and said, the Yidden left. No. Moshe came and then everyone got upset at him and then whatever. It was a whole.
You're saying there's a process.
There was a process. So l'chayda, I'm just saying this. L'chayda, it's Mezedach, it's the same thing here. There's a process. It's been 30 years, 32 years. And the Rebbe continues and says, why that's especially special right now with the Parsha, but the Shluchas of Yitzchak and Rivka, which the Rebbe was the whole Zichud talking about, that this is the first Shluchas in the Torah, which was all about the Zichud Ma'aban, and that's this week, Chai Yisrael, when it talks about it. In Shouts and Vorchim, where we get the third month, just like Kislev is the same like Sivan, the third month of since the beginning of the Kut, right? There's Nisan, there's Tishrei, so just like Sivan is the third month of the Mountain Torah, so Kislev is the third month, so to speak. It's the Mountain Torah of Chassidus, and of Primus Torah, Chedesh HaGeula, because Yiddish Kislev is in right. That's the Mountain Torah of Primus Torah. So it's mamish a special. This Shabbos with the Kins of Shluchim, says the Rebbe, this is mamish a special Shabbos. And then there's a whole Kabbalistic paragraph which I don't really understand. So if anybody does, please be much obliged if someone can explain it to me. The Rebbe talks about the neshama and the guf, that the 80 element of audits, and it goes higher than the ruach lekim and the chavos of mayim, and that should be in the actual neshama of the Friedrich Rebbe, the pile mamish is the neshama of the guf, and not just Ruach Mechamas L'Pnei Peirim seems to be about Moshiach being in a guf, and not just what it talks about at the beginning of the Torah, at the Ruach Mechamas L'Pnei is referring to the Ruach HaMashiach. Here it's actually Mashiach and a guf Gashmi taking us out of Golas, and that's what it's about now. Okay,
Right.
that's the end of Sif Yud Gimel. So this is not just another Sikha. This is bombshell stuff. This is and it's a big deal. The Rebbe is not saying this time. The Rebbe is talking to all the shluchim, giving them the new marching orders about how we're, as the Rebbe said in the beginning of the Sikha, we're restructuring the whole thing. This is more than a regular restructuring. This is like the Inyan Achik Klali in Yiddishkeit, the great Mashiach. This is Hachana to great the Mashiach to take us out of Galus. So this is like the most important thing to figure out, to internalize, to understand, to comprehend, to really live with. So the Rebbe continues to explain. Says the Rebbe, we have the Hira coming out of this Kinsa Shluchim. This is the Hira. That is very, very practical. The Poel that we're standing now by the opening of the Kinsa Shluchim, says the Rebbe. First of all, we got to go out with Hachraza V'Hida, which the only way I know how to translate that is a memo. We got to go out with a memo to all of the Shluchim that Avodah and Shluchis now is comprised of, and all the Yidden, Zomakabel Zayin Pnei Mashiach Zakenu. We need to greet Mashiach is here. We need to greet Mashiach. We need to welcome him. We need to greet him. That is the Avodah, says the Rebbe. We got to go out to the memo. If you know a Yid who doesn't know this yet, says the Rebbe, go tell him. If you know a Shliach who doesn't know this, make sure to tell the Shliach. That's the Avodah now. Used to be the Avodah was just spread Torah Chassidus in the Yiddishkeit. That was the Avodah. We switched it up. Now the Avodah is to greet Mashiach. Correct. Obviously, we never Chas v'Shalom stopped doing Torah mitzvahs, spreading Chassidus. That's the whole Yiddishkeit. But that's not the Shluchas. The Shluchas is, obviously we're doing all those things. But the Shluchas is that we're doing it to greet Mashiach. The Shluchas is the great Mashiach. Obviously, if you're greeting Mashiach, of course you're learning Chassidus. Of course you're learning Chassidus. You're Eresh learning Chassidus. Torah mitzvahs is Eresh going to begin Lasad Lavai in the proper way, and of course you're doing that. But the Shluchas is the fact that you're greeting Mashiach. That you're getting ready to actually greet Mashiach. Okay. And what's the Shluchas? The Rebbe clarifies. The Shluchas is spreading Torah and Yados and Judaism and Fatzim Yanos. You're doing Shluchas. You're doing, it has to be totally taken over with the Nakuda, how this leads to greeting Mashiach. That we're doing this to greet Mashiach. It's all about that. And we might have mentioned this before. You saw it by after Simchas Torah, that all the events the Shluchim had was Duchlim with the Nakuda, how this is to help the hostages, how this is to help our brothers and sisters, Achenim B'nai Yisrael Be'eretz HaKodesh. It was organic. It made sense. It was like everyone felt it.
Right, that was the thing of the time. Right, it was a thing of the time. So that's what they did. Because we are in a time where this just happened, and we're still feeling the emotion of what just happened. So obviously everything is going to be about it. Every shachris, every tefillah is going to be davening for whatever happened, for the security and safety of Eretz Yisrael, for the returning of the hostages. Literally every single part of a yid's life, a shliach's life specifically, became, how can I take what we're doing, seemingly very mundane things, or things that we've been doing for the past however many years you are in shlichus. How can we take that and bring and connect it and bring it home to this point, to connect it with this emotion, this feeling of what just happened, and camaraderie towards our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. So the Rebbe is saying, and I think this goes to this important nekuda, that when you recognize, again, this similar thing, but we have to recognize what is going on now. Just like we realize what was going on by October 7th, that was everybody was involved with it. We have to get everybody involved with what is happening now in the world. And what is happening now in the world? Yemei Mashiach.
Absolutely. Yeah. People have this block because it's a new thing. It's scary. We haven't done this before. It's like we can't do that. That's crazy. So when you show an example, you see, it's not so crazy. It can be done.
I I was
Um,
I was seeing a conversation of shluchim on WhatsApp, and someone asked, "How can I take this whole concept of Eretz Yisrael and all that stuff and apply it to Hanukkah?" I was like, I wanted to like respond like let's do the exact same thing, and let's ask the question about Mashiach. How can I take Kabbalas from Mashiach Tzidkenu? How can I take this concept of Mashiach and bring and make it practical to my menorah lighting ceremony that I'm about to have tonight? That should be the question. That should be the conversation. And like the Rebbe says, that you're in a kinus shluchim. The whole point of the kinus is to get together. You know, there's a statement. What's it called?
a mission statement. What
A
the
mission
theme?
statement. Correct. Right. The theme of that year. Take that theme. Make hachlates tevis how to implement in that year. The Rebbe is saying, not only is this a theme for this year, this is something that is so, it's taking over the entire shlichus from now on. Hopefully not for that long, that I was hoping not for that long, but every single time shluchim get together and make hachotes teves and figure how to do their shlichus, the Rebbe said to keep in mind that everything now is towards this one point about Kabbalas Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu. And I heard,
Yeah.
I heard another, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Tell me.
All right, I heard
What did you
another
hear?
part about. I asked someone how would you explain to whoever the difference, right? What's right? So you'll explain this to someone. You'll explain the sicha to a shliach, and the shliach will tell you. So what practical difference do you want me to do, right? Seemingly, the Rebbe is saying that everything that you're doing until now, right? You said what's the whole avodas shlichus? Spreading Torah, spreading Judaism, and spreading Chassidus, and do it through the Nakuda of Kabbalas Pnei Mashiach Tzidkenu. Fine. So what's the practical difference? Am I supposed to be doing anything different? So interesting Vart is the difference is that every single time you do something, any pa'ula that you do, you go out to the street, you put on tefillin, you make a shear. Are you talking about Mashiach? Is Mashiach something that you're talking about? Does your community, do the people that you have an influence on, do they know about Mashiach? Do they know that it's not something that is going to happen in however many years?
And although we have the Gauss from the Rebbe that he took out some stuff that were, so to speak, more Mashiachist about that, it's about that it's the Rebbe who's Mashiach. So even though the Rebbe took that stuff out, we know that if the Rebbe takes something out, it's not because it's not true, because he doesn't want to be Megillah Sikha that way. You don't want to say things too bold or too. But it seems even what is written in the Sikha, it seems abundantly clear that that is still the Teichen of the Sikha. That it's about the fact that the Rebbe is Mashiach. It's the point isn't that the Kachin Geula. The point is the Kachin Mashiach, who already has the mission, and that's the Nasi Adar to take us out of Golas. It's not a. That is still what the Sikha says. Hagos explain it that way. Even though the way that Rebbe was Magid the Sikha, that's still what it says. Um,
Right.
yeah, there's so many things that Rebbe took out. That's not because it's not because they're not true. Of course, that's true. It's an edit. I don't want to print it like that. So to go say from an edit also, therefore that's not what the Sikha says, and then not tell you what the Sikha does say because you have nothing what to say. This is still what the Sikha says. So it's about that Mashiach, the person, is already here. This is to help Mashiach do his job. This isn't to earn the Geula. This isn't because we need. This is to help Mashiach do his job. People got to know that. What does it mean? It means that you're chaver. No, that Rebbe's taking us out of Golos. That he has a mission. We have to help him out. Moshe Rabbeinu was on the scene. He needs our help. Let's make him feel welcome. Imagine the Rebbe shows up, take us out of Golos, and everyone's like, Rebbe, Mashiach. Aren't we not going to talk about that? Isn't that a secret? That's so awkward. The Rebbe should come and everyone's happy to see him. Everyone's been fabricating about him. Everyone's been waiting, asking for him to come. This is everyone. This is what it's all about. He should feel welcome. You're greeting him. You're welcome to come. A Nudov came to the city. They made a whole Kabbalah Pnei of the Rav. They welcomed him. They greeted him. A whole fancy thing for him. That's what it means. So not complex. And the Rebbe continues that it stressed the whole theme of the Kinos is Lahavi the Mashiach. Says the Rebbe, you're active. Lahavi is active. You're actively bringing Mashiach. You're not spacing out that when Mashiach will come, you'll already enjoy the Geula. No, you're proactively making it happen, and not just and Lahavi L'Maisa Mashiach L'Mais Lashidabim. And that what was Lashidabim? Not just one day, many days. And says the Rebbe, it's going to be Maisa Mashiach, not the way Mashiach is B'chavkas Mashiach. You Maisa Mashiach, the way Mashiach is Mashiach B'vada. Already now, the Rebbe is B'chavkas Mashiach. So we're technically in Maisa Mashiach, like the Rebbe says in Parashat Shemais. But we want to have the Maisa Mashiach, the way Mashiach is Mashiach B'vada. You have to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. You have to keep its Golias. We have to work to make that happen. And says the Rebbe, this means simply. The Rebbe continues to say, how do you make this happen? Stell sich vor, you go over to him and say, the Rebbe's Mashiach, he's taking us out of Galus. He says, what's Mashiach? What's Galus? He just doesn't know what you're talking about. So how do you do it? Says the Rebbe, simply speaking, you know what it means? It means you go home to your Chevra and you teach them. Everyone's going to have a Chotas Tevis, how to prepare themselves and the people around them to greet Mashiach. How do you do that? You have to prepare them. Through that, it says you have to teach them. What is Mashiach all about? You have to explain to them the inyan of Mashiach. What is the job of Mashiach? What's Mashiach? What does he do? What's the inyan of Mashiach? And by everyone they should understand it, including, says the Rebbe, inyan Mashiach Gula, which apparently is a subcategory of inyan Mashiach. And Befrat, says the Rebbe, even Chachma bin Das, that it should really be, which is the whole idea of Chabad, properly understood until it comes Chachma bin Das, as I assume, which means afterwards it comes into the emotions. Now you might say that's a very tall order. I can't do that. I know the guys in my Chabad, let me tell you, they ain't ready for this. Want to put on tefillin, they're ready to do that. You want to start teaching them all about Mashiach, Beifin and Miskavel, they should understand the Indian, so they should be able to greet Mashiach. That's
all order.
I don't know. It might be Melachik them. I don't know. I don't know if this is good for my city. The Shliach might think to himself. The Rebbe tells Bavarant. And Bing says the Rebbe, this is the Shlichus of our time. It is shaykh to every single year without exception, says the Rebbe. So instead of saying it's Menachik Yidden, figure out a way that it won't be Menachik Yidden. Instead of being scared of the Shlichus, figure out a way to make it happen. If this is the Shlichus of our time, then it's possible to make it happen. It's shaykh. We can do it. The Rebbe says he option that through every shliach is going to do his shlichus with his Eser Kerich Nefesh, right? Shliach plus Eser Kerich Nefesh together is Mashiach. 348 plus the 10 is obviously 358. That's Mashiach, and that will make that Mashiach is he's the real Mashiach who will come. He's a shliach together with his Eser Kerich Nefesh, and says the Rebbe that the Gili Eser Kerich Nefesh of the shliach Shebedenu, who's the shliach of our time, the Friedrich Rebbe, the Nasi Adar. The Rebbe stresses it again, and the way it was in the Dar Shalafanov, that the Friedrich Rebbe was Nesachad with his father, that he was the Bnei Yechidei. So that was explaining how, just like the Friedrich Rebbe was one with his father, because he was his Bnei Yechidei with Rebbe Rashab, until we have the Shleimus of all 7 Kani and Neda, all 7 generations. So that sounds to me like the Rebbe is trying to say in humble words how he's referring to himself as the Nasi Adar. You have the Friedrich Rebbe, how he's connected with the Dar before him, and the all 7 branches, all 7 datas, which the 7th one is obviously the Rebbe is the Nasi of the 7th generation. So, and the Eid Vikar says the Rebbe, we have to go to the Eberstedt and say, we did our shlichus, Magid Zerov, Yaakov, Chukov, Mishpat Lisol, the Eberstedt has to fulfill what he says. Now it's time we have to sell the Eberstedt to the Mishalech HaAmiti. You have to do your shlichus. Take us out of Golos. And says the Rebbe that together with the Ebershter's own Eser Kerich Nefesh, you have Atmos and Mahos, together with the Eser Kerich Nefesh of Atzilus, so to speak. Together, the Ebershter is also a Shliach to take us out of Golos. Or says the Rebbe that the Ebershter is Mashiach. If the Ebershter is whatever. Also, if anyone can explain that to me.
Right, the Ebershter being a Shliach plus Eser is Atzmos.
Right.
which is Moshiach.
That whatever everyone who is a shliach together with their nefesh together equals the Indian Mashiach. At any rate, the Eibush take us out of Galus.
Yeah.
And this following paragraph scares me the most. But but here goes. And even if there will be a suffix that the Eibush will want to hold the Yidden another second in Galus because of the great Nachas Ruach, the Geschmack that the Avodah of Yidden in Galus gives the Eibush. Says the Rebbe, there's a rule, whatever the Balabas tells you, you have to listen, except if he tells you to leave. To go away, then you don't have to listen. It's your house, I'll follow your rules. Well, I'm going to leave the house, I don't have to listen. The Eibishter tells us to leave, to be another second away from his table, to be another second separate from the Eibishter. That we don't have to listen. So we have to demand from the Eibishter, Tishlach, sends us Mashiach. And here the Rebbe says, in the beginning of this year of Yad Tishlach, because Yad Tishlach is Tavshin Ches plus 14, so it's Tavshin and base. And bring him to go be Shlema. So it seems from here that the Rebbe has a suffix that it could be, even after everything we said in the Sikha, Davish is just enjoying Galus. Taka, no rules, doesn't make any sense. We finished Aveda. Davish is just enjoying the Aveda of Galus, which means that doing more mitzvahs and more Galus Aveda, more shlichus, conventional shlichus, not centered on Kabbal's Pnei Mashiach Tzekenu and demanding of Davish to take us out of Galus. Just regular classic shlichus is fantastic in the sense that it's great, but it's a little bit too fantastic because Davister is just enjoying it a little bit too much. And you have to be wary of that. Rebbe's wary of that and says that you have to be dafka focused on demanding of the Eibishter to take us out of Golos, that the Rebbe to do his job to take us out of Golos. We have and the Rebbe ends off the Sikha. I mean, whatever. Yeah. I'm not giving the Eibishter has no excuses. He has to take us out of Golos without any shadow of a doubt. And then the Rebbe says together, because the whole idea of the Sikha is the Ma'am, the connection of the Yidden and the Eibishter, of the Gulf and the Nefesh and the world and Gila Lakos. So we'll have the final Gila, the Nisuan of the Eibishter to the Yidden. We know we're engaged. Lots of people have the final Nisuan, because that's what the whole marriage is, Nisuan. And therefore, says the Rebbe, and you'll understand this more if you learn the rest of the Sikha, the Rebbe says that everyone should make a achlota to finish the entire Kutei Torah, all the parts of it until they finished it. Because the whole idea that Rebbe was like that it speaks about the whole shidduch of Yitzchak Dafka at the end of it, Dafka at the end, Dafka in Shir Shirim, and not in Parshas Chaisara. Point is, learn the whole thing, and that's the whole marriage is represented also in the process of a good territory. So everyone should make a chlata to learn the whole thing. It doesn't say to learn the whole thing in 1 year; it just says to learn the whole thing. So even if the Chiddush Parsha is too much for you, there's a seder, you could do it. It's very important, says the Rebbe, to learn the whole to make a chlata. I don't know if you have to do it, but you should make a chlata. I'll be still mask to do it to learn the whole thing. Until the Daven of the Kevet to have together with all the love, the marriage will be the other way. That the female, the masculine, the couple, the Yidden, they're going to be on top until the Eibishter will thank the Yidden, every Yid and all the Yidden for their avodah. The Eibishter is going to thank us. Say thank you for your avodah. Wow. And even if our avodah wasn't betachas the shleimus, the Eibishter is still going to thank us.
That's comforting.
And he'll lead all the Yidden to Kodesh, the Har Kodesh, the Beis Mikdash Shlishi, and Va'id Vu'eka says that Rebbe take off Miyad Mamosh.
Amen. When I was learning the Sikha, and then specifically when we were having this these last few podcasts on these last few episodes on this specific Sikha, I was thinking about how the progression, it's interesting. Because the Rebbe talks about how Shlichus is about spreading Torah, Judaism, Chassidus, to bring us to the Geula. And the Rebbe says that a few times, and stresses that a few times, how it's to bring us towards, not only up to the Geula, but also into the Geula, that it's a whole thing, specifically about the Geula. And then all of a sudden, the Rebbe shifts and starts talking about this new thing about Kabbal's Pnei Mashiach Tzedkenu. It seems very interesting how I know as a kid, learning about Moshiach and Geula and listening to all the songs of MBD, Avram Fried, Uncle Moshi, all these things, how it, it's never really talked about. Besides for the Rebbe, this concept of this is something that we need in order for the Geula to become a reality. It seems very interesting how we've never heard it. It seems almost like, I guess it's a new thing, something that unprecedented. What?
Right. So there certainly is precedent for such a concept that in order for Mashiach to come, he needs a melech needs a people. That makes sense, right? The whole Rosh Hashanah was he's trying to make the Eibishter a king. Um, but the fact that it was necessary, and even that you have Makaitis that it says that the Mashiach we can't have the Chazara of Malchus Beis David and the Beis Hamikdash and the third thing won't happen until we're Mevakash it. We're saying Kiddush Levanu, Bikshu Savayla came as David Malcolm. We have to ask for the Eibishter to be our king, and then through obviously Malchus Beis David. But Lapayel, right? The assumption always was, even from the Rebbe, that as soon as we've earned the Geula, we'll finish the Shlichus, or as soon as we mavar the Bedurim and all that, right away we'll be taken out of Golas. And for whatever reason, we seem to be in this this state of limbo where we finished it, but we're still in Golas. We finished the Bedurim, but like it still seems like there's Klippa. So what's up with that? I'm still having challenges, right? So, like the Rebbe says in Parashas Noach, like the clothes of the Yidden are done, but you might still have problems, but it's irrelevant to the klal, but like you should fix it up. Uh, I was talking to some people this week, some mashpiyim. They're wondering, so like, how does it work? If we finished all the vidurim, then there should be no clipper in the world. It should be gilei kos. So there's some clipper, like there's these sparks. How I don't
Right.
know how it works, but it seems to be for whatever reason. We finished all the vidurim. Take things simply, we finished it. And nevertheless, we're in some sort of state of limbo. Will Apaya was still in Galus, like he says, the Rebbe says, like there's a stuff, the will just keep us in Galus because he's enjoying himself. So he's keeping it going, and there's still the chat. What does David enjoy about Galus? He enjoys the challenge. He enjoys that we overcome our challenges. So I don't know.
What's your what's your suggestion?
I don't know. I'm guessing it. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I was speaking to Mashpim. I didn't finish talking. That it's not so clear, and people unfortunately don't talk about it enough. It's not a topic that's spoken about enough. But what is clear is that what's a job we do have to do, and that's Kabbalah's Pnei Mishach Tzekenu. That much is clear. So
Right.
yeah.
It seems that it was something that I know. I was thinking about it. I was trying to formulate a thought and exactly how to make of where we are in the scheme of history and we know Yidden Jews for the past thousands of years have been waiting for this concept. Mashiach has always been a thing that people have been waiting for. Geula has always been a thing that Yidden have been davening for every single day. We literally daven for it every single day. It's something that universally Jews all over the world of all walks of life have been asking for the same thing. And I think we are just holding in unprecedented times. There's never been in history someone that the Eibishter came to them and they've been successful in doing all the things to be becheskas Mashiach, and the whole concept of Mashiach of cheskas vadai. It's a conversation that is like a detail. It's like
Right. This makes the whole Gimel Tammuz irrelevant. The Rebbe is Mashiach. Like David told him, "You're Mashiach." Like it's gonna work out.
right. It's and like a lot of people have issues with it. Why? Because like there's still bad things are going on. There's still death. October 7th is a good example. There's all these things, but what we don't stop and think about is that okay. I can speak for myself. I trust the Rebbe. I believe that the Rebbe is being the Nasi Hadar. He's Moshe Rabbeinu of the generation, and like he said that he's a Navi, that we know before Mashiach comes, prophecy will come back into the world, and the Rebbe said that there is Yesh Navi Be'Yisrael, not only that did he tell us this, but he told us to spread around and spread the news that there is prophecy back in the Yidden. And we don't stop and think about what happened in the years of Tafshin and Aleph and Tafshin and Beis, or in 1 year really, changed everything. The whole world changed in that year. And we are living in the most unprecedented times. There's nothing that we can, not really nothing that we can look back onto.
Since COVID, I can't hear the word unprecedented times without...
yeah, cringing a little bit. But it's real. It's real. Mashiach is really in the world. And the Rebbe showed us this. Mashiach is really in the world affecting change.
And it's irrevocable. It can't go back. So whatever's happening,
can't go back.
It's part of the Geula process.
And I think the only thing that's left, correct, the only thing that's left for us to do, the Rebbe says this, is push it, make Mashiach make Mashiach be comfortable in this place. Make him feel welcome. Literally, just simply feel welcome. Right now, if you look around the room, I would go on a venture and say, if I was Mashiach, I wouldn't feel welcome. Either people don't believe
that I could. They don't think that I could be Mashiach. They don't think that I should be Mashiach.
Correct. Or they don't care who's Mashiach.
Right. Either way, you're not making him feel very welcome.
Correct. And I think,
like you have from Parshas Noach, that it's no longer about we moved on to being a Tali b'Mashiach Tzkeinu Atzmai. We need to inspire him and give him the ability to actually take us out of Golas. It's about making him ready to take us out of Golas. And Kineda, there's some problem. Right, this illusion that it doesn't matter who Mashiach is, I don't know. It's just not true.
And it also doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Why, if he's your king, why wouldn't it matter? When Rabbi Akiva thought Ben Kiziv was Mashiach, he carried his clothes, he followed after him.
And what's crazy about that is, first of all, we're talking about Rabbi Akiva, okay? What he did to Bar Koziba, there was a few things that Bar Koziba showed that to be Becheskas or to be a Mashiach. Right? What was he doing, really?
He was fighting.
He was fighting wars. He was fighting the Eibusher's wars. Physical wars.
You have to imagine, though, Rabbi Akiva witnessing the Churban, the Amiyani Amar, whatever. I can't say anything about Rabbi Akiva. But after witnessing the Churban, and then you see a guy rallying the troops to fight back and to take back what's ours, and we're going to Yilcham Cham as Hashem. You know?
People got fired up. People were fired up. What's amazing is that in that year and the few years after, people were fired up about Mashiach and rallying around behind the Rebbe. And just again, let me finish the thought on Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva, okay, rallied around someone and put his what's the word? Influence, not influence.
His reputation, Rabbi
Akiva put his reputation on the line, saying this is Mashiach. We have to rally around him, just for the very simple act of rallying the troops and fighting against the very people that destroyed the Beis Hamikdash. And here we are. Not only do we have the Rebbe fulfilling every single criteria of Mashiach, okay? The Rebbe tells us, first of all, Noach that we finished and all these things, every single week, the Rebbe kept on adding and adding layers and adding a layer. It was a hemshech and saying how we're making progress, starting from towards the end of Nun Aleph and the beginning of the Nebeis, making progress. Now we have Mashiach. Now we have in every generation the Roi Lios Mashiach, and then Hashem reveals himself to him. The Rebbe tells us that Hashem revealed himself to Mashiach. And then it goes on, and then we have how not only is the Mashiach revealed, but also he's already starting to affect the world. He's starting to influence the world. And here we are 30 years later arguing if it matters who Mashiach is, if he's really Mashiach, if it's possible for him to be Mashiach because Gimel Tammuz happened. Rebbe Akiva, just for starting a war, rallied around behind him, because if Mashiach is something that we really care about and we really, really await, every tiny thing we'll go crazy about. Even before Nun Aleph, when the Rebbe would mention something about Mashiach and hint to say something about how Menachem Shmoi or Nasi Hador Mashiach Shabadar, like any tiny thing, a chassid who really, really cared about Mashiach would go crazy.
Yeah, and there are those that kind correctly. Why is it then that for so many years the Rebbe was against talking about that he's Mashiach? And that's simple. The Rebbe said this is the shlichus of the time right now, of this kind of shluchim. That's why now it's shaykh every year, says the Rebbe, because now that's the shlichus. Before it wasn't the shlichus, so it wasn't shaykh to everyone, and therefore it was disturbing of Fatzamiyanis, which was the shlichus of the time. The shlichus of our time is Kabbalah Pnei Mashiach Tzekenu, and therefore it is shaykh to everyone, and it's not contradicting anything. Figure out a way to make it work. It's very simple. It's a different shlichus, a different time. There's a Rashi in this week's parsha, Kisisa, that Aaron said Chag LaShem Mocher, be a party for Hashem tomorrow. Who's he kidding? And Rashi explains, Aaron was batuach that Moshe would come, and there would be a Chag LaShem. Aaron trusted Moshe. He's batuach and Moshe Rabbeinu. We need to be batuach and Moshe Rabbeinu. We told us he's coming. He's coming. There's no doubt. The Rebbe will take us out of Golos. The Rebbe didn't say that he's the maybe Mashiach. The Rebbe said that he is Mashiach. For sure. He will do all the things. He didn't do them yet. He's not yet Mashiach Bavadeh from a technical halachic standpoint. But he told us that Eberstedt told him he's Mashiach. It happened already. The midi from Dov Makam Mashiach Shen Geven. There's no going back. We're not turning back the clock. Gimel Tammuz, whatever. What happened, but it's an illusion, Batsam. It's not the same like in any other generation. It's very different. The Rebbe is still the Nasi Adar, and the Rebbe is still taking us out of Golos. For some reason, everyone is very okay saying the Rebbe is Nasi Adar, but not the. If the Rebbe is still Nasi Adar, then the Nasi Adar is the Mashiach Shavadar. The Rebbe is still then the Rebbe is still Mashiach.
And, 22.
Yeah. Anyways, that's the long and short of it. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. Thank you for yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I think the most important thing is to comment, because the way to make Mashiach feel welcome is by talking about it, by making it a focus of our conversations. So I think commenting and sharing are the two most important things that you can do.
Right. Instead of being like, we've had that recycled conversation. No. Get into it, but with an open mind, with a fresh mind, with don't have a stale attitude. Have a healthy attitude.
Correct. And for me personally, I had a journey. All right. My journey was like a very abstract thing, like Mashiach, the Rebbe. Like it was very. I didn't really know anything. When I started learning the Sichos, I was like, whoa, right. And then I started having conversations with other people who were less Mashiach and the Rebbe, and they started arguing with me. And I personally would very much like to get to the truth, the right thing. Now, learning the Sichos, that seems to be the most true, because that's what the Rebbe is saying. And I'm very okay with someone else coming and telling me a different way of understanding it. But I think the most important thing is, if you have a disagreement, if you don't agree with us, bring it up.
Then talk. Have an opinion. Discuss.
Not only have an opinion, right? Discuss it. Bring it up to us. I am very interested in hearing other sides to this argument, to this point.
Discussion.
Right.
As long as you're trying to find the truth, you're trying to make it happen. You're trying to bring the good. I don't know if I should share this, but I met somebody maybe an hour and a half ago. I met somebody walking down Eastern Parkway. He knows like Moshiach, and he was saying it a bit cynically, but still. It's like, what are you talking Moshiach? Don't worry. Learn the Siches, eat ice cream, eat whatever, drink soda, it's good, eat a burger, be happy, live life, calm down. Like, stop trying to bring Mashiach, stop just it's good, don't worry about it. And he was saying it obviously in a bit of in a joking manner, but still, obviously it's because people have that perspective. Whether they say it, they mean it, they don't say it. I'm good. I'm fine. And I'm gonna get married, or I'm gonna move on shluchas, or the shaila. Of course, Babisha, Marakefer. Like we said, don't worry, everyone's a shliach. It's all good. But you know, what shluchas? We'll say the time. Yeah, the pastors. I mean, that's what I did. So my father did. That's what you know. Why should I think any different? And Vaharai, there's so many respected people. That's what they do. The Rebbe said Chavkas Nissen that'll be we'll have the 10 akshonim, we'll have an ein spare the dry, we'll come up with the eights of was ton of Yazem is all ton. The Rebbe didn't say that all the Chassidim know what to do. Just look at all your other Chassidim, they all have it figured out. The Rebbe says nobody has it figured out. Everyone got it wrong. Nobody's doing the right thing. Nobody cares about Mashiach. And if anyone did, we would have it already. And I have failed in making you guys care about Mashiach enough to bring the Gola. And maybe you guys can come up with an answer what to do, but
correct.
But one, two, or three people understand it ever.
And the fastest way to get 1, 2, or 3 is if 100,000 people have conversations about Mashiach. You'll have the chance of having 1 or 2 or 3 figure it out is much higher as opposed to if you have 100 people talking about it.
Now, and that's for accuracy sake, for accuracy sake, though, that I was talking about how you talking that we don't get to have Mashiach, and as we see here, now we do have Mashiach, so we have made progress. But I think the spirit of the spirit of the talk is still true. We just reapply it to make Now you have to take it to the end, take it a step further. Like the Rebbe says, the shluchas of shluchim is biz the geula, biz to bring in the geula mitzvah shlema. It's till the end, whatever it takes. That's why, if we finish the shluchas, how is there still more shluchas? Yeah, because the shluchas is biz the geula. That's why. So whatever it takes, it's still part of shluchas. Whatever it takes.
L'chaim, whatever it takes.
We want Mashiach now.
Yeah.
ועד כדי כך המדב גולהוב מהדר עם זול מחי זין יחי המלך